it suits Ascend, I guess, more than anything.
Yeah, I think Lothar makes a really good point about the first, handful of rounds we see on both attack and defense,
Sure.
as to where kind of the pressure points are going to be and where Ascend look to isolate a player or two. But see here with Liquid starting off on the attack. We see one member, actually Yampy, drifting towards this alarm bot. See Kilo's on the other side, yes, noted pretty early on. Again, opportunity now for Yampy to almost bait that. Ow, that's a Scream? What?
That was so nice from Scream, but Bone Cold's still here. Like, and that's going to be the fact finder. It only gives away 2, there was the additional. And Yampy's kind of the ace up the sleeve, right? Like, maybe he can still be a problem. Killer's... I don't know how much he's going to expect him to be here. But Yampy now knows there's still a player very much present towards top side of mid.
Also, actually just smoked off the alarm bot to allow Yampy to advance even further. I don't know
Super nice.
Keyless was aware that Yampy could potentially slip into pizza there, but Liquid now, they hit this rotate. They got a lot of time. Get themselves onto B site ahead of this rotation coming through, and Yampy will for sure catch one of these.
Yeah, he should do if he plays the timing right, but they still have to win the fight towards the back of site, which, well, so far, Zeke's saying no to. He does eventually get overwhelmed by Link, and there's Soulcas. Gonna do just nicely enough for himself, but again, a lot kind of happened in that pistol round. Talk us through it.
Yeah, it did, and the important thing to note is whether or not we're going to see an adjustment there. I don't know if even Keyless is aware of the possibility of somebody slipping into pizza there, because he wasn't kind of clearing. He wasn't holding that angle, and by the time he hits that rotate to come across to B, they both kind of, I guess, submit to playing, backside on B. But Yampy's in a position to cut off that rotation, so a little strange to see that if that wasn't considered at all on the side of Keyless, but great use from Liquid again to smoke off that alarm bot to allow him to dig even deeper there.
And a shoulder scene for Scream. Oh, it's not the prettiest, but hey, if he gets the job done. Yeah. There's Yampy going to start filling that void as well. And so far, the first 2 kills are the ones that they really needed to get this one started. And CNED probably going to be overwhelmed. Yeah, Navera just dives through. Fair enough. I love the way the Marshall just become like a railgun, basically, at this point.
See if they can do any damage here. Liquid, again, not even bothering to plant just yet. Set up, and Link will see that the weapon was retrieved. Knows that Keyless is close by.
Still tag, but
That's it, yeah. Zeke actually finds Soulcas. Imagine they'll even give him the opportunity to save this one. He's vulnerable from that alarm bot. Navera throws his body on the line.
Oh, why is it so sloppy right now? Please.
Now, actually, Link's a little bit disconnected here, so an opportunity.
Still time on this.
Yeah. And now they both reset towards short. They both covering the cross. It's even more difficult for him.
Good attempt. Got a little sketchy.
I mean, good damage done. It
went
kind
from
of neuters any bonus round that they're going to have, and good ultimate progress on the side of Zeke. You can see he's one away from the Hunter's Fury now.
Ah, Team Zeke. Good.
Well, I mean, the other thing to consider here, if Navera does opt to, pick up an orb here in the early round, go for that lockdown, I mean, potentially, I don't know if Zeke is able to get himself into a position to find that Hunter's Fury early enough, but certainly if they hit A, the B orb's going to be available.
Mm. The Borb.
Orb. The orb.
Look, as soon as it unlocks the best of 5,
madness ensues.
Truly, spiraling begins. And I thought it was a bit of a meme from MBS, but he was very honest about it all, really, wasn't he?
The prophecy. Yes, it's
true.
See, Liquid do retrieve that lockdown. I nearly said it again there. An orb. So it's looking like A site might be the end goal for them here. What about Wine as well? Whether or not they can find anything on the way in here. Actually, Starzo and Keyless trying to hold on to Hell right now. Nothing detained. But actually both noted now. 2 separate players noted in Hell.
Yep. Keyless tries to capitalize on it, but it is a 2-for-1 trade out. Zeke still up towards the top side. Zeke, what an adjustment. Fired up now. The Zen need to start kind of stamping their authority on the game, and enough players surviving there, keeping the economy hopefully in a decent enough position going forward.
again, at this point, you look towards potentially Acend to have that Blade Storm available, at least be close to it. And actually, he's 0-2 right now. Be kind of sponging up everything that Ascend have achieved in the last 3 rounds.
In the what?
Yeah.
Rounds. So you what? Round. Like a race car. Round.
It's gonna be a long one, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. That's why I'm settling in. It's the best of 5, you know? Casters, take it more seriously. This is as much as we're giving you.
Yeah.
This is it. This is peak. Yampy, that's a pretty nice peak
nice
too,
peak.
actually. Yeah, fair play. Bloody Pure Ascend just, oh yeah, he just absolutely swung me on short. Fair enough. 3v5 now.
Good encroaching.
Concealment.
On B site as well. Solcas, again, will give away his position, but the rest of Liquid stacked up on the outside. Scream bold. Try and bait out at least a peak or some utility potentially.
Recovering it.
It will cost him. He's down very low HP. I think sitting around 10 HP actually.
Ooh, Solcas has heard enough of these rotations. He's probably called this out. If he can at least buy time. Now, Bocold's noted this too, so he's going to have to sprint the hell back towards A. They've hit that rotation really well. It's actually quite nice for Liquid now. Bonecold should have been noted being over this side already. So again, he should get a little bit of freedom here. Good damage towards Navarro. Couldn't actually adjust beyond that. And now it looks towards the likes of Starkzo. And again, Solcas can be a problem here. Be a bit of a nuisance to this.
He's noted as well. Starzo his
Subtle, is he?
sound cue here, and actually will lose his life for it. Now 2 players are Liquid, very low HP, so it's doable in the retake here. Brings it to a 2v2. Scream still down on 11 HP. Link's got to be the next one to find, and that headshot could change everything.
Starkzo? Just kind of walking in all willy-nilly, not too fussed by Achilles now. Oh, it's a disaster for Ascend. But what a turnaround from Liquid.
Again, Scream actually catching the heel on that first kill as well. 3-1 now. And again, with, I thought potentially, actually, well, Ascend were able to scrape through in the previous round. They might even be able to muster together a purchase here, but it's not looking that way at all. Acend had yet to get on the board, so no Blade Storm available.
That feels weird to almost say.
Yeah, it does. So Sheriff's all that Ascend can afford to throw into this. Liquid stacked up once again. Everybody on the same side of the map. And they might even try and progress through mid pretty quickly. Navarro will open things up onto Keyless actually. Sarzo desperate to try and counter that, but nothing for Ascend just yet.
Well, there's the first opportunity at it. Starkzo does well, but it's quickly replied with. No ability really to pick them apart, and maybe a little bit of madness to it. And Cena goes for a body block, but Solcas does not really care much for it, as the last player is Zeke. That's the worst I think I've ever seen Scream. And that was very, you know, I literally saw the shot, I look at the webcam, like, it's not who I expected to see that.
No.
It's fine though.
Tap it in.
Yeah?
The headshot there eventually.
Yeah. No problemo. 4-1. Cena finally gets the op out, but I mean, it's a little late.
This is where you expect him to get on the board, right?
Yeah, surely this is where it kind of spins around. You get to see that next layer to Cena. Maybe doesn't have the best start, but you know that he's always good for a couple with the op.
So yeah, where he's positioned, looks like he's going to peek towards tiles. And again, Liquid have stacked up here a number of times in the early round.
Here.
You've got to respect that owl drone initially.
How many are suppressed off that?
I think 3, potentially 4 actually. Lockdown invested. Hunter's Fury available. But again, look where Zeke is. He can't put that Hunter's Fury in.
Oh, Zeke! He's somehow alive at this
What?
point! Zeke!
Spike down.
Where's that third just come from? Yeah, Yampy's done all right, but this one's a bit of an
remaining.
absolute mad one. Solcas, well, good luck. 1v3. Does he show as he clips that corner? He's all right.
Obviously, going to be behind that Cosmic Divide, so no possibility of the sound cue being detected. He's got to be quick to get there, though. If he wants to get a clean plant, you can already see Keyless making his way back across. Just wants to get back in range of his utility. potential here. Actually, is he just inside the alarm bot range? Because when Soulcast tries to close this door, there you go. We'll get confirmation. He's eating a lot of nano swarm damage there as well.
49 HP. Oh dear. They've got a bit of utility left, don't they?
He's 20 seconds away from a recon as well, so...
There's nothing lining up too nicely for him here, apart from the shot. Gilla is going to be punished, able to turn the flash enough to get his gun out now. Oh, just about slipping through the fingertips. Bone Cold staying alive and getting Ascend a well-needed round on the board here.
Yeah, but 4 fall. Let's take a little peek at what the economy looks like. And Liquid was sitting flush enough there where, yeah, comfortably got another purchase behind this. They lose the operator, Ascend, I mean. But, I mean, Zeke here, but never again will I call this a one and done spot because he finds the third was disgusting. Unfortunately, Soulcast just clips on the edge of that door frame. I think he's able to get into that corner. Maybe then he can isolate a 1v1. I mean, still wins that first one.
Here.
Navera now with an operator of his own. Again, as soon as the operator's shown, you can see this adjustment here on the side of Liquid. They spread a little further out across the map. Obviously, in this one, we know, I think Cned's on a Spectre, if I'm not mistaken.
Enemy tank.
He did grab a rifle from somebody else. But no Blade Storm once again. Had a quiet first 6 rounds, to be honest with you.
Slower start towards middle here. There's Navera. Gonna take a little bit more control with that operator, trying to hold those longer lines, gonna build in. And they have been seen to try and pressure towards middle here a little bit. Yampy's been getting away with a fair amount of freedom towards middle, and so much information now. All those footsteps heard. What can he do with it? Not much. Can't punish Cned. But enough information found that might spur on this A piece, potentially. Scream leading his way towards the site.
Stars are unnoted as of yet, but Scream find Keeler's hair and Scream tries to reposition. Actually, Zeke finds one with the Hunter's Fury now. A couple of heads present themselves, but Yampy's the one to find one of them.
Oh, I thought Bone Cold might have had a bit of a timing coming through on short there. Not to be had. Yampy's going to put him down, but Zeke with the trade towards Scream. These two from Heaven gonna try and work in unison here. Actually gets the better of Navera, putting all in the hands of Yampy, the young Finn. What can he do with this? Gets the spot, but the defuse ain't gonna stop at this point. Cned is gonna be sitting this one. Yampy tries his best, but it ain't gonna be enough. Cned gets across the finish line for them, gets the defuse. And again, building back in. These rounds are close, but they are now starting to favor Ascend here.
I think there as well, it's the perfect response from Ascend. I think Bone Cold relays that information, one's repositioning towards short. They pinch through, and unfortunately it's Navera with an operator. There's no way he finds both of those. Unless it's a Guardian and your Doma. The exception to the rule, right? Insu somewhere smiling backstage.
It's the words of Doma. Fnatic? Hello?
Right here.
Get out of my way.
Finally. Actually, no, it was Yampy's. I was going to say, I thought it was CNET's.
I mean,
A Blade Storm has been popped.
He's got it.
Yeah.
Just not using it. He's got the ult. He's fine. He's fine. And the walk up short, but look at the utility littering the floor over here by Tree. Not gonna be a nice way to work around. Then you have KO on the other side as well. Yeah, I think that's been noted by Scream. And yeah, already kind of warded away from this. This might change their minds.
That's pretty BM, that setup there. The turret again with the, potential gravity well in and amongst the alarm bot and the double nano swarm setup. Yeah, actually, Liquid remove a couple of pieces of utility. Gonna find everything on the back of that. Yeah, 4 suppressed.
There's a lot of people here. And
what?
huh? How did Link just do that?
Right, okay. Save. Go save.
Save.
How has that just happened?
Let's talk through what just happened, right? So, lots of utility over by Tree, looking quite nice for the defending side, right? All nice, dirty little turret setup. Nice.
As soon as some of it's removed, obviously they then suppress 4 people, which is the confirmation. It's like, okay, yeah, cool, the hit's coming. Link somehow finds the first onto Wine,
Yes.
then readjusts and finds the second.
Second.
And I don't know what happened up to that point that forced the peek out, but they're not very happy that he's been spotted there.
I actually love seeing the reactions of the players as well. Just the frustration of like, God damn, they've seen me. Off I go.
And this is, I mean, again, Liquid coming through with effectively the Blade Storm and a couple of other pieces to work with, but they post their 5th round now. It should give them a little bit of a bump in terms of the timeline here. And Ascend going to be struggling on the back of that.
I mean, Ascend, apart from Zeke, aren't lighting anything up to me just yet. Seen it a little quiet. Hey, look, he could maybe warm into this, but is he dropping the op over?
Yeah, he's giving it across to Zeke now to I guess, make use of the Blade Storm.
Sure, okay.
Again,
so
he's at 3,600 as well, so even if Zeke kind of gives this one away,
here.
can repurchase.
Seen.
Right here.
So it was meant to be like a flash and turn, flash push sort of deal. Didn't go well. That went really badly too. Ascend, man, this looks a little bit misplaced, a little out of sorts.
A little bit flustered, it feels like. Again, it's not often you really see Ascend kind of forcing it into a position where he's got to make a play in the early round, especially, you know, a flash and dash into mid. Phone call though.
Spike down.
One with the Sheriff. Note a second player, but unable to find a second kill. Now, actually, Keeler's going to retrieve the operator. Yampi definitely aware of that. Will be relayed. Whether or not Starzo going to try and make an attempt to do some further damage here. Keeler's just holding this angle now. A little bit of a bait there. To try and draw out an operator shot, but Keeler's doesn't bite. Again, don't expect Liquid to give too much away here. Maybe even Link just confirm, but Starzo now going to hear all of these players rotating back through spawn. Yeah, just hold on to these weapons. And Starzo actually full armor here as well, so. Yeah. Liquid now stretch their legs a little bit. 3 rounds separate them. And again, there's nothing really special coming out of Liquid. It's very slow, it's very methodic. And they're finding everything they need to at that crunch point of these rounds. They're finding everything. You think back to that Link double kill, right? They still have the benefit of having 4 players to pinch through towards main. Again, you think about the scenario elsewhere, that 2-for-1 goes in favor of Ascent, right? They have B main control, but I mean, they had Yampi literally bursting through short with Scream on the back of that after they dealt with the utility.
And again, if
Area.
I think it like excuse me, on the break between this, checking to see what the players were saying. Already Scream feeling like he's played a best of 5. This has been a very long series, so yeah. I do feel as though there's a little bit of, I don't want to say fatigue, but you're going to see it starting to come into effect. Some of these hits are looking a little out of sorts. And it now being a best of 5, this is a marathon, it's not a sprint. There's no need to get overzealous just yet, but Killez is in all kinds of danger. He's not getting out of that, absolutely no way. And it was a bit weird. The decision-making behind that just didn't seem spot on. Now Starzo, other side of that, see if they can get the timing right to work together on this, and it's a bit of a surprise, and it is a 2-for-1 trade out. The spike will go down as Yampi is on guard duty, gonna find Bone Cold, and now a 3v2 in the post-plant.
Found them.
Zeke will get the ping on the recon bolt, but no ability to wallbang that just yet. Now, actually, maybe with the Aldrone tag. Navera picking up the slack from main. CNED with the operator, a 1v3. And get past the first hurdle there. Yampi will find it comfortably. Like I said here, I'm not entirely sure what the response is from Ascend.
Okay.
No surprise to see that called now. You know, like I said, I'm not sure. On contact, pop the lockdown behind Dice.
Didn't love that.
Never seen that one before, weirdly
No.
enough.
And you quite like a bit of Killjoy, don't you?
I mean, if it worked, I might have started doing it myself. But
Didn't work, did it?
no, it didn't.
No.
Not going to be considering that one. I mean,
What do you make of the fork on Bone Cold's desk there?
I don't see a plate or a bowl
No, it's
anywhere
just
near.
a fork.
Who's to jab Zeke? Zeke's next to him.
Just wake him up a bit. Just
That's why Zeke's doing so well.
ah.
The fork factor.
I say good forking really wakes him up. Wasn't what I wanted to go for, if I'm honest. But
At least you repeated it.
yeah, no, you got to clarify. The time I'm going to conclude at some point, but it does just look a bit flat from Ascend. A lot of the indicators of what we normally look out for, of kind of the.
See, it struggled. It's
Yeah.
no secret from watching this. And again, whether or not Liquid are navigating their way around the map to almost mitigate that risk.
Sure.
But again, financially they've been stretched here.
Again.
It's looking awkward. Whether or not they even want to invest the operator here, no. It's again, without the benefit of having him progress towards Bladestorm, you can't just throw it in around like this.
Ooh, what is this buying we're coming in with? Buying down to like 1.3 at points.
Odds and ends,
Yeah, it's just
bits and bobs.
bibbly bibblies. Now a little bit more of a traditional ult we're seeing coming out, I guess, in comparison to the prior.
I've seen that one before.
We have, and we've also seen the spike heading over this way, and it's going to be Bone Cold on the other end. And I'm going to connect on the first. Sometimes does have a couple of moments with the Sheriff, not to be just yet, and it has pulled a lot of attention. Look at the rotation coming back in from Ascend. There's a lot of room now for Liquid, getting slightly deeper positions, and ones like this, Scream just going to take matters in his own hands. He's just like to do later on. He wants this over with. There's Yampy, just dived over Zeke. Okay,
Enemy
bit
down.
weird, but it's fine. Link's just there.
Last
And now
round
Liquid
in the half.
looking much quicker there. Again, selling that fake pretty early on. They're able to collapse onto B site. I mean, Zeke 14 and 10. The next closest is Starzo at 5 and 8. That's not something you see very often with Ascend.
No, you
yes, you
pick
see
3 of them
yeah,
to be
yes.
towards the top,
You
right?
see CNED kind of pull ahead quite often, but
Sure.
it's not often you see Ascend as a collective struggle this hard.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. But we don't know how these two match up on a regular basis because they don't meet very often. And there we go. CNED maybe warming up a little bit here, finding Yampy towards the top side and mid, as Nivera unable to find any support there, just kind of allowing that funneled approach to come down. Liquid finally operating at player disadvantage here.
Make their way back towards B. Now Bone Cold, once again, has explored a little bit. Liquid now will pump the brakes a little bit. Don't want to give away any of these audio cues. Now they're leaning a little further away from CNED, or at least where he's noted, and Bone Cold might even opt to pop this. He's got to do it quick.
The timing. Oh, it's good enough for at least 2. Scream does get. Oh, Scream
Spike
quickly gets
down,
put down by Zeke. Maybe there's a life in them yet. Nice work, just on the very cusp of that running out of time. But this is starting to get.
Switching sides.
It's A4. Where have we seen that before? Previous time. Why are you whispering?
Because they went to overtime.
Was it just 1 round of overtime? No. It was indeed. Oh, do we see it again? It would have to be Ascend coming
Oh,
back.
Ascend, yeah, exactly.
So-
they're the ones now that have to do what Liquid have done twice.
Chew on the other foot, maybe? I don't know.
Well, the thing is, you look at potentially Starzo, Bone Cold, and CNED coming alive in this second half. There's potential for it.
Do you see it? Do you believe?
No,
Feel it in your waters.
no.
Right.
The waters are broken.
There we go. Straight kicking off with Yampy. And the Sheriff has a little look. Gets tagged up. But now it looks like Ascend are working their way up Cat, so we'll be coming down towards that A. So there are 3 players here, though. So that is one benefit. You actually have Scream playing towards short this time and 2 tucked in towards sight. That's
Now
going
they
to
know.
suppress 2 of them. But do they know about the 3rd?
What?
Does it matter when CNED just absolutely breaks on in? 3 huge kills. And we said it, look, can CNED activate? Can we start to see a bit of that? Well, it looks like yes is the answer.
He's going to double his kills in the pistol round.
Yes, he is.
Is what he's going to do. They're going to give CNED the plant. Again, righting their
planted.
wrongs from the first half. decent progress towards that Blade Storm already. Let's see if we can find any more. It's now Soulcast and Devera find themselves in a 2v5. Cena just posted, desperate for another one. He will find the fourth. Soulcast like, nope, don't give it to him. We're actually going hunting here. Yet Cena wants this. He wants that ultimate available.
He's gone for it and he gets it.
Okay, dude.
Nicely done. A quiet first half, but there it is. Long we have waited.
They were just saving strats for the attacking half. He's one away. He's going to get a Borb, and then he's going to have the Blade Storm.
Cheeky Bob, and he's away. What a start for the man, though.
Literally doubled his kills.
We've had 2 aces now from Ascend in this one.
Nice.
In this one game.
Starzo's due one. He can double his kills as well.
Yep, absolutely could. Absolutely could. Looks like an all-in A here. No messing. Phantom out, nice and early. Link now going to be considered. I don't know if Scream got tagged in this too, but he's still got both goals somehow. And Yampy, he's considering it. Link's got start. So what is going on? Yampy finds C. Don't drop this one, Ascent. No way.
How about I only bring a ruler next time?
Okay, cool. Next round. Let's see what's going to happen, because I never want to see that again. Link, again, finds a freebie.
Sure.
That's a given. But after that, it's just Ascend just like, okay, let's just stand where we are and hope that they keep swinging. And Liquid are like, okay, we'll keep swinging, and we'll find every kill after that. That was...
Didn't like that one bit.
No.
Because now, money-wise, you're going to have Eco here, right? Surely. Like, there's nothing.
Out of my way.
Okay. Blade Storm going to just come on for it. Is there anything else invested behind this at all?
Maybe a Sheriff. I'll be honest, I didn't quite see, but...
Maybe Starzo got one?
I've never wanted the overlay to show as much as I do. There we go.
That's why I love the observers. Shout out to Salty J and Haribo. So a very... a dash of investment behind it.
Yep, he's just spotted it. Yeah, he spotted the edge of the Astral Form. He waits there. Starzo will be removed. Cena tries to fill that gap, and we'll find Yampy actually, so potential for one weapon to be recovered here. Be in the hands of Zeke.
Decent weapon too, though. Vera gonna have to just fall away from this one now.
Say, Vera gotta be careful, because he can be warbanged from that angle through market, but luckily only just takes one tag.
They're still on such an island here. CNED is desperate to try and break in and overwhelmed. Soulcast, they are a little frayed around the sides. Look at the HP on Ascend. He's only going to get away with a little. It does still set up for Liquid to finally get over here, but it took him some time. Spike can go down, but we need some more theatrics from Ascend here. Vandals out, big boy weapons coming through for Liquid in comparison. But Ascend is scrappy. We've seen it before. They might need it again. Link gonna lead the way here so far. One towards back boathouse is cleared. Killers, you got it! He's actually got it! Yeah, even he's a little surprised.
Like, well, unless... Oh, what are these rounds?
I'm just gonna put my chair back for a little bit. Oh my god,
Oh my, yep, don't put that back.
I wish I had a full-on Mitch fan moment. Absolutely do not put the chair back. Oh, that could have been dangerous. But at least hopefully production would have caught it on camera. That would have at least been some sort of benefit.
Throw it in the blooper reel with that round as well.
I mean, you could do it with probably most
of
what we've seen in some of these.
7 minutes of gameplay, actually, to be fair. I mean,
How
what's
dare you
next?
be so toxic to these players?
What's
they are
next?
fighting for their, tournament life on the line with everything they've ever had.
Liquid just lost that previous round, and Nevera's just board operator.
Yes.
Right, cool.
Cool.
Lockdown invested Ascend. Gonna try and pinch through short here. Gotta be careful of this stinger in the hands of Link, though. Actually, they opt to take the space towards Heaven here. Scream, the opportunity to swing through, but he's punished there. Scream and Yampy fall off the rip. Link now the last man standing for Liquid on the site, but Nevera actually drifts through heaven. Yeah, Link
planted.
finally
Last
reveals
player
himself.
On target.
See, Soulcast will get that trade. Upgrade to a rifle, but again, 3 more to find. Ascend will dig their heels in now. Actually, the flash is perfect there. Beautifully done. Ascend put their 7th. Get a little closer to tying this one up. I would love to just take a look to see Nevera's economy here because... Okay, so it's, it just looked weird. It looked weird that there was a marshal invested and an operator.
It was a bit strange. And now looking at the money, it's we have what, sheriffs coming out, 4 sheriffs. Does Yampy do anything?
Odin maybe. Well, he's one off the Blade Storm, so
Concealment.
yeah, no, he's actually in mid, so again, no attempt for an orb. And again, seeing that on the scoreboard, expect Ascend to be spread out across the map. Vera tries to drift ahead of that smoke, but it was recalled, so Bone Cold will find it. Yampy now down to 30 HP, so tries to counter that pressure in mid. Soulcast forced all the way out of short. Scream actually repositions to Jen. And we'll find the first.
Spike down.
Good for another potentially. I mean, he's alive for a very long time. He's got to hit that reload, unfortunately, but after that, the numbers come pouring through for Ascend. And 30 HP, Yampy gets spammed out. Zeke to find the killing blow. Ascend now 1 round separates them from a comeback.
Yeah, hey look, we saw Liquid do it a couple of times already, and now this could be the time for Ascent. Decent purchase, at least for both sides. The last couple have been a bit frayed around the sides. The economy kind of dwindling from them, but the op coming out for Yampy now. We're going to see everything poured into this. Plenty of ults as well for Liquid to play with.
As I said, this first ultimate cycle looks way more healthy for Liquid, considering how these rounds have played out. Bone Cold and CNED 1 away. Seek has that Hunter's Fury available. Liquid have everything except the lockdown. Yampy will walk out, find Bone Cold. Off the rip here now. No trade possible. Yampy's actually repositioned all the way towards stairs. I think he might have even just spotted there. He actually didn't know. He looks away. CNED finds a second.
On screen there. The first I forgive. The second I have no idea how he's adjusted like that. But he's still lingering around. He's getting more aggressive. CNED finding the space and making it himself if it wasn't provided. Pushing deeper towards CT, finding 2 more players. That second adjustment, I still don't know how he got that.
No, and it's worrying now. This round here is pretty much Ascend guaranteed on double digits. Oh no, something weird happens again.
Yep.
Oh, and actually,
He's
something
broken
weird
his
has happened.
headphones. He's broken his headphones. Oh, this is fantastic.
There's a timeout, don't worry.
Yeah, it's actually coming from Liquid, not Hypok, who's just thrown his headphones on the floor. You're doing all right.
Maybe.
But probably the right time for a timeout to come in.
Yeah, it's perfectly timed, actually.
Yeah, it's nice of them to do that.
All things considered. But the problem being now, like I said, this is potentially Ascend hitting double digits, and Liquid probably a round behind in terms of the economy. But Ascend now have a bit of a buffer. So even if this comes down to a 1v1, the trades are played, this still favours Ascend heavily.
Oh, bathroom break. You know, you're like, oh, they're probably talking over, you know, what they want to be doing. It is a Liquid timeout, don't worry. But, you know, and then you just see them just off and wandering away. That right. Wow. 9-9. Timeout coming to a conclusion. Dipping back in towards the board. You have Yampy, Link, Scream towards the top end of things. But we did say that, well, we had Zeke kind of being the one to lead the way for Ascend. We are actually now seeing a couple others finding that momentum. And speaking of momentum, Scream wants to try and stop it, as does Soulcast. That looks so straightforward for Ascend. They were just going to pile on in, but Bone Cold gets denied instantly. But there's the res coming back on through. Now Soulcast pinned in towards the back of Boathouse. Ascend aren't stopping, and they've taken the site. So Spike can now be ferried on through. I don't think much can deny that, no. Yampy unable to find as much damage as he wanted.
See if Yampy's able to close the distance again. We'll be suppressed, so we'll lose that Blade Storm for a moment. And that will cause Liquid to freeze. Let's see. Oh, Vera swings through, finds CNED. Starzo, good for the trade.
What?
Okay, well, finds another 2 on the back of that as well.
Wiggly aim.
Like Patty Tech circa 2020, somewhere along that.
Kyobi back a long time ago, like bloody hell. 10 to 9. Maybe there's some method to the madness, but at this point, Ascend, look at the run they've been on now. It's the answer the double ops. It's being toyed with, right? Like there's some consideration of it coming out. Nuvera gonna pick that up. Yampy's gonna run it, but this is a string of rounds, and really, there's not been much looking from Liquid on this half.
No, there hasn't. And the problem being now is they need to hold Ascend way ahead of these executions. Yampy will avoid being detected there.
You are divided.
So Cosmic Divide comes up, Yampy will go exploring, tries to find one ahead of the curve, but...
The double stack on short. We've seen it before, and we're going to see it again. This time it wasn't Link's only moment. Scream was beside him, but this time it's finally shut down. Liquid finding a bit of momentum here, and Link doing well to come back through to check onto Zeke, but tied up again. In the moments they needed, Liquid still find a couple of rounds here. Ascend were connecting. Finally, it felt like a couple of things going right for them, but that double stack on short still looks so good when Liquid run that.
It does, yeah. And again, just small things like Yampy swinging ahead of that Aldrone to try and find something, reveals that they're going to be rewarded for that stack. Ultimately, it's Bone Cold and Zeke with the Aldrone that's noted. Like you said, that double stack paying dividends. Especially with the Cosmic Divide almost then plays into their favor. Scream can dip back and forth with a dismiss. Make that really, really valuable.
If you don't hit that instant shot on Cena, I still feel there was that chance for the shot to come back in, but Scream does good damage and now backs away, so nice opening pick there.
Ascend weakened a little bit. Again, technically not revealed just yet that the double op is in play, so now when they start to re-explore elsewhere, again, assumption being made, Yampy's playing a similar position. Gonna be walking into Nuvera. As he's flashed off the angle there.
The quick progress from Bone Cold was fantastic. Even doubling in towards CT. And again, just sheer confidence coming out. As already back of sight, Soulcast instantly swept aside. Bone Cold just dragged them across the line there if required. Now the last two for Liquid, I don't know what you really do with this one. Yampy and Link, I guess, clearing Starzo will be the first port of call. They know the least Yampy's around. Clearing this corner can be difficult, but apparently not for Yampy.
So actually swinging ahead of contact there on lane. Yampy spots one, but there's still another one on site, and actually finds Zeke. Link found the other.
How is it down to Bone Cold, who's going to have to go big, or it's over, and he chooses to go big, hits the ace. Look, we said no respect at the start, and he still looked so calm at the end.
I mean, Bone Cold really put all of Ascend on his back there and dragged them through to B site. And the one to close the round out as well. Now, again, it's the operator in the hands of Yampy. But the Sheriff for Scream. Actually going to pass across the weapon from Soulcast. Soulcast going to be the one down on the Sheriff. This is the do or die, in my eyes. Next one's going to be a very uncomfortable purchase for Liquid if they concede here.
All right.
You can't dash away, though.
No, but what can Bone Cold do? Not much, actually, this time with Link swinging through on Tree. And now it's down to Starzo. The man's had aces before, but he ain't got it now. Liquid. Where do they find this resilience? You see one moment, Ascend literally walking into the site, demolishing everyone in the path. I say Ascend, Bone Cold, for example. We've seen Cena do it, Starzo do it, Zeke. We've seen so many individuals now for Ascend doing so well. And then just one round difference, and Liquid are back into this.
It's just madness. CNED, Blade Storm available. Stars are going to struggle for a purchase here. Actually, it looks like the rifle's going to be passed across from Keylez. Now that lockdown has been there for a while on the side of Ascend.
Get out of my way.
Yampy again. This time actually quelled, at least away from that first angle. Now the Hunter's Fury available. Removes that possibility for the lockdown in the hands of Nivera, but he popped early to try and create some pressure.
Yeah, they've been cleaned out on the side so quickly there. That was really well done, but there's still a couple of layers to this Scream. He's still going!
Kidding me.
How does he do this? The showman himself, look at him! He's got to 12!
Just when you think the first two maps are going to repeat themselves on the opposite side of the coin, Liquid somehow have scraped through these last few rounds, I feel. A massive bailout there from Scream. What a round from him as well.
We've just had so many individuals having some insane moments during this. Be it this retake on the screen right now, so many other just moments where a couple of players really put it through, and then Bone Cold called upon. This retake should never have gone this far, it feels like. And then Bone Cold is like, well, I already did, I guess, 3. Yeah, I guess I'll do the Ace Sphere. And I mean, we've had Link on that, stacked towards short again, doing nicely. This round, I'm seeing Zeke and CNED hitting those 2 shots. I was like, okay, that's pretty solid. And then Scream, again, digs even deeper. We've seen some mad stuff coming out this game. This really isn't just like your normal head-to-head. This feels way more individual, way more fiery. It's very hard to kind of characterize here.
No, the number of just pop-off rounds individually where there's an awful lot of weight behind what's, what the game plan is. It's just somebody stepping up and bailing either team out, to be honest with you. Now, again, you've got to question what's below that purchase with light armor starting to appear. A Guardian, a Spectre. Lockdown still available. Solkas has no Hunter's Fury. He's not even close to it either, so see what the game plan is here for Ascend. You can see Nivera just to the left of Solkas here set up. He did have the lockdown out, so ready to just pop that as soon as Keylez puts his down in B main, which I think is the expectation here.
Deploying drone.
Oh, he's got to run it. He's got to run. Oh, Yampy got Zeke down in time. I thought Zeke was going to have him dead to rights then. Not to be, but look at the pace coming out from the other side of things. Scream still alive and kicking for now. Takes down Bone Cold, looks for the rest. Gets another Scream. Sharp as ever. This man is unchanged right now.
2 insane rounds from Scream to close this out. Ascent 13-10.